Good evening. Welcome to the Journey to Oneness podcast.
Yeah. What's up, everybody?
Hello. How you doing?
Hope everybody having a great time, great week.
Yes.
I don't know where you are, but right now it's like 8,000 degrees down here in Florida. That's why my voice kind of hoarse was outside in that heat today. I don't know how you get hoarse in the heat, but good grief, that heat is wearing me out.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot out of you. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to actually be talking about how to handle your past hurt.
Oh boy. I'm gonna probably get fried today on this one, y'all. So, y'all pray for your boy. Just saying.
You can't get fried, because if you get fried, we won't be able to live our life.
Okay.
With the finances.
Thank you, Lord, for grace and mercy. Hallelujah.
We need you here. We need you. We need your finances. We need
Jesus. I'm the mule. Okay, I got you. Okay, never mind.
But you see, I said we need you first. I didn't say we need
the money
first.
That part felt good.
We need you first.
That part felt. It made me feel seen and cared for.
See?
So I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
We love you.
I love you. Yes. So, one of the things we want to talk about is something that just, if anybody doesn't know, we've been together as least friends for 37 years. We've been married this coming July, and literally in a month, almost a little about 6 weeks from now, we're going to be sitting on the big 3-1 in years of matrimony. And here's the thing, it has not all been a blessing.
Good. Yes.
Or good. It's been work.
Challenging at times.
Yes, it has not always been, I can't wait to get home. All them wonderful songs and all them flowers and puppy dogs. Yeah. No, some of them days, it was like, I think I'm going to take a nap in the car so I can get ready to go home.
Yeah. Or wake up and like, man, why are you still here?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got to see your face today.
Yeah. And it's normally because somebody said something, did something, or should have said or did something, and the other person we just sat on it. Now, there was times where she just didn't say nothing, I didn't say nothing, but deep down inside, we like, I hope we can say PO'd, and without too many of our Christian friends getting upset. We was pissed off. So, it just being honest. You married 37 years, and you gonna go through some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, being married 5 years, and you're gonna go through some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, your first year you're gonna go through some stuff, and if you don't go through some stuff in first year, I kind of question that. Yeah,
y'all. Somebody's lying.
Right.
So like, if you're gonna be transparent and just legit be, married, somebody gonna say something stupid. Somebody gonna do something stupid. Now I know those are not nice words and they're not PC, but let's just be honest.
Right.
It's some of that stuff just don't make sense, right?
Minor stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes, and here's the thing, when we don't talk about it, it goes what? Unresolved.
Yes, it gets worse later, because then you bring in a lot of issues that had happened before that you never got rid of, you never discussed, and it's gonna bleed on into this situation, and this situation is gonna be blown up, even though it was really small and it shouldn't have got that big.
Yes.
It wouldn't have got that big, and we would have just handled it right then and there. I get it that sometimes you're not going to be able to talk right away because you don't want to say stuff that you can't take back.
Right.
Because you're hurt, but at times you can say something. You just have to tell yourself it's going to be all right. It's all in how you say it. It's all in how you look at yourself. Because first of all, when I come to you, I need to look at myself first and say, hey, is it me that's doing this, or is it him? Am I responding because of the past hurt that I had and I never spoke up, which was my problem and not your problem? Or is it something that you've done that you're hurting from and then you're blaming me for, or putting it on me? So we have to take a look at ourselves when we go through these type of things. Yeah. Because sometimes it's not the other person, sometimes it's us.
Yeah. But in the moment?
Yeah, in the moment it's different.
In the moment,
I'd be like, it's the other guy.
Like that dude or that chick right there. Man, I don't even know why I'm with you.
Yes.
All those thoughts can we just be honest? Let's because we've had, like I said, we haven't been together. I done known this young lady right here 37 years. There is no way in 37 years of any type of relationship no one's going to do something that's going to upset the other person. You're going to have those moments, right? So I think a lot of times we go in with the expectation of one or two things. I'm going to make mistakes, and they're going to have to just deal with it and be all right with it, right? And vice versa. But that doesn't mean we live in those mistakes and we live those behaviors, right? For instance, there was a time when, I wasn't born again. There was times that my language was not correct. I knew not enough to call her a female dog, if y'all know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I respected her. I loved her enough never to use that word. And I don't use that word never lightly, but I've never used that word on her. Now, I've said a whole bunch of others just
disrespectful,
disrespectful, dishonorable, worthy of a good slap upside the head. I mean, it got so bad at one point, y'all. This is almost embarrassing. My dad came to my house as a grown man. I got my own family, my own everything. Dad ain't paying nothing. Dad came to the house because he heard she didn't sound right. And because he's made past mistakes, he knew the sound, and I still didn't know the sound. Dude came in and got in my grill, in my house, in front of my wife with his side. Well, anyway, with this other young lady who happened to be my sibling's mom, and so it was just the craziest thing because he knew I was making deposits that she was not actually saying out loud.
Right.
Those unresolved issues, right? So whether it was a behavior that I saw in my dad or I inherited spiritually, or however you want to make that thing happen, I was making a mess.
And he was like, she's faithful. She gets the job done. She take care of the kids. You might want to keep that one because that's a prize right there.
Yeah,
that's how he looked at it. That's a prize. And, because he didn't have that prize at the moment, he's married now, but because he didn't have that prize at the moment, he didn't want to see you go down the same road that he went down.
Facts. That's true. That's true.
And every time he turned around, he come over here and he come pay a visit to us. Neither one of his grandkids were out of place in any kind of way.
No.
Whether it be the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they act, none of that stuff. And so he's thinking like, hey, I'm not going to let you lose this person.
Right.
When you got so many other people out there, so many other women. I'm not trying to toot my horn because I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything.
Oh no, I'll
but at the same time, when you had a lot of women out there that was just throwing their bodies at these guys, or just taking care of these guys that shouldn't have been taken care of because they should have been taking care of the females and stop living off of them with their food stamps and welfare checks.
And
and he's seeing that, hey, she's gonna do something with her life.
Yeah.
And my grandkids are going to be raised the correct way.
Yeah.
That's what he saw.
Yeah. So one of the things that we had to deal with, because we got married young, right? I mean, when I say we got married young, we're only in our early 50s. And we're going in on 31. I ain't tell your age. I told him I married you when you was 2. But anyway, so, you know what I'm saying? I'm past the statute, so y'all can't come get me. Yeah, whatever. So when we got married, I had no concept of marriage. I didn't see what a marriage looked like. I didn't understand what a committed relationship looked like. I just knew I wanted to be with her. That's it. Right? Now, you could do a lot of things with ignorance, but the one thing you can't do with ignorance is be married.
Right.
You're not going to do it successfully. I put it that way. You cannot be married, ignorant, and successful at the same time.
No.
What you do is you do a lot of damage
you
while you're married. Because you just don't know. You don't have the relationship skills. And to be honest, men, I think we suck at it because we're told that we have to have toughness and not tenderness in relationships with our spouse. So when we grow up, we come up thinking that, I'm the man. I do what I want to do. I go where I want to go. We make a mess.
Yeah.
And so later on in the relationship, if she stays, what you have is a pissed off woman in your house, and you try to figure out why she beefing all the time. Mm-hmm. Why she coming at me, or vice versa. Same thing, ladies towards men, right?
Right.
So one of the things I tried to make some notes, so I kind of wanted to run through some things, right? So unresolved issues of the past can be damaging to a relationship, especially when one person feels unheard or unseen by the person that caused the harm in the relationship by the person. So there were things that she was just holding on to. Justifiably holding on to, right. And I had no clue. I'm thinking everything good. I'm doing better now. I'm showing up what I'm supposed to show up at. Things getting taken care of in a timely manner. I'm saying things a little bit better, not good, but still better, than what I was. So I'm patting me on the back like, man, I'm doing real good. I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
You've been getting the F all that time.
And the whole time she's sitting there looking at me like, you just don't have a clue. So one day I had this strange question that was, just jumped in my head. Ask her how you doing. I'm gonna say that was God set me up. I ain't gonna blame. I'm not blaming God like blaming God, but I'm like, God set me up like, yo, ask her how you doing. Man. Which brothers.
You ready for the answer?
Don't ask that question if you really ain't got your big boy jaw up. If you don't have that grown man jaw, don't you ask that question, because you're gonna like a punk when it's over. Okay? Right. Especially if she give you the straight uncut. No chaser. And all hands, bro. You not physically, sis. Don't be.
No,
No, we don't do that.
No.
But that verbal, this is the rundown. Oh man, it'll mess you up. It'll deflate you if you're not careful, because you think you're making progress, and you have, but you're still not her husband. There's a difference between being her man and being her husband. The world will teach you how to be her man. When you start listening to what God shows you through the Word and through the leading of the Holy Spirit, He shows you how to be husband.
Right.
And she still has to get the issue sometime, or he has to get the issue out sometimes, of the damage that was done to the relationship. And if you value the relationship, if you value the person, you're going to take the heat. But most of us don't want to take the heat.
No. Not at all. But I'm glad you said that, because I have 3 points right here where it says our words can easily be damaging.
Mm-hmm.
One could be when we misleading words leads others into sinful acts, attitudes, or behaviors.
Yep.
2, when destructive words poison relationships.
Ooh.
And 3, when hypocritical words come from the same mouth. And I felt like at times, some of the things that you were saying was misleading, but at the same time I knew, that you was doing your thing and I was doing my thing. So it really didn't even matter, but it still hurt regardless whether who was doing who. And then I was like, that don't sound right. You saying this one thing one way, but then you come back and say it in a different way. And I think you are being a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I did say stuff like that, you would get angry, because it was thinking I was just trying to bash you just to be doing it on purpose. But a lot of that wasn't to be doing it on purpose. A lot of that was acting from the hurt that I had endured.
Yep.
And at the time, sometimes I was able to say something, and sometimes I wasn't able to say anything, because at times you made that place safe, and sometimes you didn't make that place safe.
True.
So when I don't have that safe place, that's when you were shut down. And then later on, all they did was pile up more and more, and the pile got so big it be turned into a mountain.
Yeah.
And then you can't jump over a hurdle over a mountain.
No.
And if you do, you better be careful. There's somebody down there waiting for you.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna make it.
Razor blade mountain.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah. So
we just gotta be careful with our words.
Well, words and actions,
yeah.
right? So one of the things, and I talk to several brothers. We chop it up, and I try to keep it. Totally honest with them. One of the things I had to really prayerfully work on. Not one of these things that took a couple of times I just sat down, thought about it, and I just went and did it. We're talking about years of just enduring and being committed to and being steadfast to. I have to be willing to hear every bad seed that I've sown.
And vice versa for the women. We have to be able to hear exactly what you're saying as well. So it's not just a one-sided thing.
Facts.
Because the women have to do the same thing that the men have to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes the women take it a little bit more emotional than men.
And that's to be expected. And here's the other thing too. I think we kind of touched it a little bit before. We need to stop telling our sons and our brothers, hey, look, you got more than one emotion. Stop using anger for everything.
Right.
Right? I know the Bible says be angry, but sin not. I get it. God got angry. Yeah. God also was happy. God also was sad. He had joy.
Yeah.
He had understanding. He had compassion. When you start reading different things, read your Bible, bro.
Sis.
Yeah. Read the Bible. It's hard to be the head of the house when the head of the house is in confusion. And we all need a standard.
Right.
How do I lead my wife if I don't understand what the standard is? I can't communicate the right standard because she already reached out and said, I mean, the third one's what? Being hypocritical?
Being hypocritical, yep.
So I got one set of rules for her and a set of rules just for me. Mm-hmm. And we say we don't, but then when she say something crazy, our response sometimes is, well, you know, she made me do it.
Yeah.
How she make you do it? Or how did he make you do that? If the person could have made you do something, they would have made you do what made them happy, not what made them angry, not what hurt their feelings. I mean, that's proof that you're angry because you're not even making sense.
Right.
That should be like an indicator of, well, you know, you made me do this. This is your fault. Like, no.
Mm-mm. And I could have gone to your head.
And I was guilty of saying that kind of foolishness. I'm like, wait a minute. It's her fault that I stayed out with my friends, running all over town, doing all this foolishness, putting the family at risk, and then turn back around. I come home, I'm expecting her to be happy with it because she still got to get up, go to work, go to school, and then still come back home, take care of the kids. Right. And I'm out, you know, I'm hanging out. I'm still paying bills. I'm still going to work. I'm doing 2 jobs, but at the same time, I'm not doing things that's necessarily going to keep the family safe.
Right.
Now, that was, you know, young Larry. Mm-hmm. She has the right to be mad. She committed her life to a person that was going to be in it 100%. Not this 50-50. I'm going to give my half, you going. She was like, no, I'm in. I need you in. And I'm like, girl, I'm here.
100, not 50-50.
No.
Right? I'm not 50-50. We're going to do this 100 each. We're gonna both bring something to the table where, you know, we'll be able to learn from each other. Mm-hmm. And that's what marriage is about. You learning from each other. It's not just a one-sided thing.
It is. So one of the things that I think is important, whether you're the person that initiated the issue, get out your feelings. Right? So when you ask that hard question, it seems like you're upset, or you know what? It may take a minute to get that out. Mm-hmm. It may come out real hot, real fast, a whole lot of accusation. Some of it may be true. Some of it may not be true. But keep in mind, this is what's going to help you long run. Right. Now, it takes courage. A lot of times, people will say, I'm sorry, can you forgive me? And they just like, everything's supposed to be 100. You know, everything's healed. Yeah. Everything's great. You know, we fine now again. Mm-hmm. Well, if you cut a person, it takes time to heal. Right? Mm-hmm. If you break a bone, it takes time to heal. If you steal money from me and it's a large amount of money and you can't pay it all back in one shot, it takes time to restore some things. Restoration takes time. Reconciliation takes time. You took time to do the damage. Now you have to take time to wait for it to get healed and participate in the healing process.
Right. Just like, I mean, it was a few years that, you know, that I was hurt. And I couldn't get over that in no one day or 1 month or, you know, or 1 week. That just wasn't going to happen. You know, I had to learn that, okay, I am hurt, but I still have to forgive. But at the same time, I didn't forget. Because the reason why I didn't forget, which I wanted to forget, but I couldn't forget because you were always there. Yeah. You know, the kids were always there. So I had to, you know, put a smile on at times and then, you know, and try not to think about it. So that way I could still move forward in the marriage. Right. Some people may not be as strong. Some people probably can't do it. You know, at times it's like, I just want to be angry. Just leave me alone. Just let me be angry. Because that's how I felt like it would help me. Now, it didn't benefit you, and it really didn't benefit me, and it definitely didn't benefit the kids. No. But one thing I could say about you, though, when I did have to go through that type of stuff, you allowed me to be able to heal from all the damage that you did, from all the hurt that you did. And you didn't say I had to get rid of it in 1 week, you know, or 2 weeks, because it was years. It was a seed that was planted that grew into a tree, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Had you not did that, I think his situation probably would have been a whole lot worse. We don't know. But at the same time, I had to be the one that was going to have to sit there and say, I accept what he did. I forgive him for what he done. And I'm going to move on. Mm-hmm. And we're going to work at this thing together. Because for one thing that I do know, that we're not going to have a failed marriage as long as both of us working together. Right. So sometimes it's just not good to hurry up and rush the healing process. Because when you rush it, a lot of times when it comes back a whole lot worse. And I don't like that feeling. So that's why I don't rush anyone. when it was time for me to teach the grief share class that I had to teach at one time,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I learned you don't rush anybody when it's time to heal.
Yeah.
Because everybody's healing process is totally different. Mine's may be 6 months, yours may be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And because yours is 2 weeks and mine's is 6 months, don't mean that either one is wrong.
Right. You know, and I like how you equated that to grief, because one of the things that they talk about in grief share, right?
Mm-hmm.
That course you took and I took, right? So in a relationship, when trust is lost, and especially if it's been really damaged, it's almost like a death.
It is.
Right? Because that hope I had in you, that way I used to see you, that clean look that you came in, that the way you sounded, the way you just came in the room, and the way you smelt sometimes, it's like, after a while, that person can hurt you so bad. You can't stand the way they smell. You
Right.
hate the way they voice sound, the way they say certain things. You know, you like, I wish you just shut up.
Right.
But you keep it inside. You're like, everything, that was great, babe. Oh, babe, the food was amazing. But deep down inside, you're like, I still can't believe you did this to me.
Yes.
Why would you say this to me? Why would you make me feel like? Because why? Trust has been broken.
Yes.
They feel dishonored, right? They don't feel respected. They don't feel valued. But deep down inside, they just smiling. Because why? Sometimes it's just for the kids.
Right.
Sometimes it's like, I'm in a bad spot right now. I can't get up out this hole right now, because if I get up out this hole, I leave you behind right here today.
Yeah.
So when those feelings are there, this is going to be a little. This one, the next couple, we're going to dig into this for a minute, because we're going to run out of time. We're not going to keep y'all like this. But we're going to dig into this, because marriages are being lost because we're not dealing with issues.
Right. We just
Right?
figure, we just disagree to agree, and then we'll
That
just
don't
come
work
on
either.
back. It don't work.
That
It
don't
just
work.
don't work.
So
And I don't like the saying. I'm
No.
not saying that, it's a wrong saying, but I don't like the saying. For me. Because then I believe that there is no, with us,
Yeah.
I can't speak for everybody else, but with us, there's no resolution
right.
when we agree to disagree. Because eventually one of us, because we both are like really thick-headed, not that we like to, argue to see who's going to win, because that's
No.
not who we are.
But we were at one point.
At one point we did, but at the same time, you used to always like to get the last word. And I was just shut down, don't say nothing at all. But then you always thought I was mad. A lot of times I wasn't mad. It's just why say something, because it wasn't going to even make a difference. Right? So sometimes you just have to learn how to be quiet. And then sometimes you have to learn how to talk up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean.
And I think one of the things that's important to do is give each other room to say it wrong.
Right. Give each other grace.
You know what I mean?
know,
Give each other the yeah. Go ahead.
Just give each other grace, because we are going to get it wrong. At some point, each and one of us are going to get it wrong. And we just have to go back and try to fix it.
Yeah.
You have to be open to wanting to be fixed.
So we're gonna give you some real quick Bible on this one, right? Habakkuk 2:2. How can two people walk together unless they're in agreement? There has to be an agreement on how we're going to communicate, how we're going to treat one another.
Yeah.
What's going to be what's the standard that we have that says, okay, these things are an expectation. There's nothing wrong with having expectations for your
Right.
relationship.
Nothing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Rules.
Yeah.
We heard that this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Rules. God got rules.
God got rules.
So if God has rules, why can't we have rules for our marriage? Actually, it is rules for our marriage.
It is.
In the Bible.
It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible.
You got to read it. It's
So
in there.
it ain't your pastor's job, and I know that's not good grammar. It ain't your pastor's job to make sure you get it.
Right.
It ain't your bishop's job to make whoever you want to call. It ain't their job.
Yes.
It says study to show yourself approved, so that way your workmanship can be rightly divided. You got to do it for yourself.
Right.
You got to get into this thing, because why? When you don't have the word in you, you don't make good choices. When you don't make good choices, you have negative impacts. When you have negative impacts, it leads to two visions, which leads to divorce.
Yep.
So we run out of time.
So we ran out of time.
Oh, we gonna come back.
This.
So I'm real quick. We're gonna talk about this whole unconditional love thing in marriages. Y'all gonna want to hear that.
Yes,
Right, so
come on back.
I'm not saying the teaching's wrong. I'm saying it's being misapplied. And who do you think you are telling? Yeah, just come back. We're gonna talk about it, and I look forward to hearing what you're gonna say about it, because some of y'all theologians out there, and we're gonna have to have a conversation, because it's rightly divided the word of truth. Man, I can't love her unconditionally. She can't love me unconditionally, because why? We don't love ourselves unconditionally.
Correct.
So, with that in mind, now we ain't got y'all arguing about that point. We'll see you next week.
Next
next broadcast.
Right.
Holla at y'all. So remember,
it's a journey and not a sprint. God bless you.
God bless y'all. See you next time.